The death of George Floyd had a huge impact on people in our area, creating new connections in the struggle for civil rights. News 12 Connecticut's Suzanne Goldklang spoke with folks in Stamford, and she joins us now from Jackie Robinson Park with the story. Suzanne?
Good evening, Eric. Talk about timing. The news from Minnesota broke here in Jackie Robinson Park just as a community open mic about violence was about to start. People said they had been skeptical, but celebrated the news.
It's National Max Day in Stamford.
Folks had gathered in Jackie Robinson Park to honor murder victim Max Antoine.
We lost another wonderful person.
When all of a sudden, phones lit up. News from 1,200 miles away.
I think it's a great verdict. It's finally time for justice to be served.
No justice, no peace.
Last summer, protests filled Stamford streets following the death of George Floyd in South Minneapolis.
I felt these butterflies before, and it turned out not in a favorable way.
But today, surprise.
Everyone is amazing, and God served justice. For justice to have been served, it's a great thing.
A collective sense of relief for the people.
Would Max have minded sharing his moment with history?
For days like these, when we're remembering the people that we've lost, so we don't lose them in vain.
Friends say not one bit.
It gives the people a sense of hope that we desperately needed.
There is a God, yeah. There is a God.
So nobody will ever forget the first Max Day. Max's family says they are overjoyed for George Floyd's family, but thinking of so many others who are still waiting for justice. In Stamford, Suzanne Goldklang, News 12 Connecticut.
And for Trenton neighbors who can't leave their homes, the city has restarted a program to get them vaccinated. That's after it was paused because the program was using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. News 12 New Jersey's Alex Zidane reports.
So if they can't come to us, we'll go to them.
Trenton has restarted its homebound vaccination program.
And they don't have to be seniors, but it's just individuals that cannot get out to get the vaccine.
Going to the homes of the elderly and infirm to administer COVID-19 vaccination shots.
We don't want them to feel left out. We want them to be included.
The city had been using the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine for the program, but stopped after just 110 vaccinations when the CDC ordered a pause to that vaccine.
We started on Monday, we paused on Tuesday.
Frustrating.
Yes.
Now, Trenton's mayor says the state has provided 2,000 Moderna doses, allowing the homebound vaccination program to restart.
I'm too old to worry.
May Cahoon is 86. She suffers from kidney disease and arthritis and uses a walker whenever she goes out. Even then, moving around is difficult.
You all ready? Yep.
She received her first shot inside her 2nd Street home on Tuesday morning.
Time is 11:23. Just felt a little pinch, that's all.
Trenton's health officer made more than 30 home vaccination visits on Tuesday.
It's very rewarding to come out and see that we are reaching our seniors and homebound folks.
And will come back to those homes to administer second doses, all part of the city's efforts to increase vaccination among senior citizens.
It's very important because we have a large senior population. We have senior towers. We have a lot of people who are infirm. We have disabled people. J&J is the most versatile of the vaccines. And especially you don't want to bother people in their home, and sometimes some of them are bedridden, so you don't want that disturbance only once. But now we're going to have to do it twice.
The city's remaining 1,900 Johnson & Johnson doses are in a freezer, ready if that vaccine is cleared for use again. In Trenton, Alex Zidane, News 12, New Jersey.
And Trenton residents who want to be vaccinated at their home can call 609-815-2556.
Orange County Hospital has now changed its visitation policy for dying COVID-19 patients after our report about a grieving woman who was unable to say goodbye to her father.
And News 12's Blaise Gomez has the update from Wallkill you'll see only on 12.
Alexis Posada says her beloved dad, Angelo, was always there for her since she was a little girl. So when the 72-year-old from Rock Tavern got sick with COVID-19 in February, it was her turn to be there for him, except she wasn't allowed to. And he died alone at Garnett Medical Center in Wallkill.
Garnett prides themselves on compassionate end-of-life care, and this was not that at all.
Garnett is one of 4 hospitals in Orange County. News 12 confirmed in February it was the only hospital in the county that did not allow end-of-life visitation for patients with coronavirus, despite Posada's pleas.
I think it's a little disheartening that I wrote the CEO a letter and received a canned response.
Since then, Posada says her case and our story highlighting her painful experience has caused the hospital to change their policy and allow visitation for patients with COVID-19. We reached out to Garnett, but have not heard back, and instead confirmed the update on their website.
I'm happy that other families won't have to suffer, but I wish that we did not have to suffer the way that we did.
Posada says she'd like the hospital to apologize, but knows that may never happen. In the meantime, she's grateful her voice will help others and knows her dad approves.
I'm sure he'd be proud of you. Now.
A lot of people have said that I'm like him.
In Waukeil, Blaze Gomez, News 12.
Jonathan Gordon joins us now after speaking with a local security expert about workplace safety. Jonathan, is there anything we can actually do right now to help potentially prevent something like this from happening again?
Yeah, well, those experts say there certainly is a lot that you can do. I mean, look, we're down here in downtown White Plains. It's one of the busiest business districts in the Hudson Valley. And experts do say that there is stuff that they can do now, not just here in White Plains, but across the area, to prepare.
A Stop and Shop in Hempstead, a FedEx warehouse in Indianapolis, a supermarket in Boulder. The next workplace shooting is impossible to predict, but not impossible to prevent. Having a plan is critical, including knowing how to leave a building in case of an emergency. But before that, local security expert Sal Lafreri says companies need a safe way for employees to report suspicious activity.
When you have a staff that's trained, that understands what they need to do, goes a long way in mitigating a lot of the devastation that can occur.
He says employees should look out for certain red flags in coworkers, like drastic changes in their personality, or if they begin to sympathize with shooters in other incidents.
The communication is the critical thing.
Peace University criminal justice professor Joe Ryan says the latest shooting is a reminder of how much work still needs to be done to protect both employees and customers.
We have to start thinking long term. We're not going to get away from the gun issue.
Now, Jonathan, do these experts have a reason why we might be seeing all these workplace shootings?
Yeah, well, they believe that the recent burst of these workplace incidents actually stems from the fact that people have been home for so long during the pandemic, are now returning to the office. They may be acting irrationally, and they say that it may be the reason why you're seeing so many incidents happening as more people are returning back to the places where they used to work. We'll send it back.
Let's face it, the last year has just been awful. Wouldn't it be nice if we could literally just step back in time to maybe, I don't know, 1970? This is the Times Vintage in Greenport, just an awesome place, and
we're open. The things in here spark memories.
That's an understatement. Owner Lizzie Swigert and her dad put together a unique collection, decades of secondhand items, all authentic, all for sale.
I like to say that there's a little something for everyone.
Everyone who likes to go back in time, that is.
We are located in the Suffolk Times building, the old newspaper building, which dates back to 1890.
You may not find anything from the late 1800s here, but the early 1900s.
I do a few really beautiful 1920s pieces. I mainly focus on the 50s through the 1970s.
As for the decor,
I'm really inspired by the 60s and the 70s.
Lizzie's boyfriend, a talented local woodworker, did much of the work, from the vanity displays, shelves, and the really mod and groovy dressing rooms.
And there's 550 flowers, and there's 100 butterflies. Each one is cut and sanded and made by hand.
But there's also something new here, old records. A huge vinyl collection was recently added.
It draws the guys in. From the street, some people might think it's just a dress shop, but when the guys see like vinyl, it's like, okay, I can be here for 30 minutes looking at the records while my girlfriend tries stuff on.
There's also clothes for guys, beehive wigs, and barware that'll make you think of drinking whiskey sours while listening to Frank Sinatra's newest release.
Our purpose here is really to spark joy. We wanted to create a fun and happy environment.
And a temporary escape from all the challenges we face in the current era. In Greenport, Doug Geed, News 12 Long Island.
To Atlantic City, they're not the only game in town when it comes to gaming in New Jersey. North Jersey is now a competitor in online betting. News 12 New Jersey's Marcy Rubin reports from Fort Lee.
Fort Lee is apparently cashing in on sports betting.
Looking at that geo-comply data and seeing where those wagers are coming from, that those border towns, they absolutely have an influx.
A recent article at basketballnews.com says New Yorkers are flocking to New Jersey border towns like Fort Lee, making it a gambling hotspot, often rivaling Vegas.
You have plenty of New York Giants, Jets fans, and whatever else is living over in Manhattan, coming into our side of the water, coming over to New Jersey on a Sunday morning and getting their wagers in prior to NFL kickoff at 1 p.m.
Sports betting sites like FanDuel and PointsBet can't confirm the exact number of customers who use their services at a specific location, like the Linwood Plaza parking lot about a quarter-mile from the bridge mentioned in the article. But FanDuel does say 25% of its users are New York residents. And Patrick Eichner of PointsBet, who I spoke to virtually today, says the same thing happened in South Jersey before Pennsylvania legalized sports gambling. But it's not just towns near the George Washington Bridge like Fort Lee. Any community near a PATH train, a New Jersey transit station, they're also seeing more New Yorkers coming in to use their phones to place their online bets. Industry experts, though, say enjoy those extra people and their money now, because pretty soon you will be able to do the same in New York State.
If you don't need to leave Manhattan and travel on the PATH and head over to Hoboken or Jersey City, great. Stay in the comfort of your own apartment and go ahead and place some mobile wagers.
But for now, it's convenient enough for many New Yorkers to come place their bets legally right here in the Garden State. In Fort Lee, Marcy Rubin, News 12, New Jersey.
They'll save the toll on the bridge as well. FanDuel reports that their sportsbook at the Meadowlands is the largest volume sportsbook on the whole East Coast.
Well, so much has gone digital these days, including bra fittings. The founder and CEO of Jeanette Bras is talking to News 12's Christy Reeder about how the remote fitting works and shares how most women are wearing the wrong bra size.
I would say, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 are uncomfortable in their bra and it's not fitting well.
But Jeanette Goldstein, the founder and CEO of Jeanette Bras, is trying to change that with her bra fitting boutiques.
I'm recreating this. The experience, how it used to be before the big department store, before racks.
That includes a one-on-one appointment, which has gone online.
No tape measure needed.
She says the traditional method of bra fitting is done by the eye. Just wear the best bra in your collection before your online appointment.
We want to see you sort of from the waist up, because we're looking, very important again, the rib cage. We want to see that.
Bras will be mailed to you. You choose the ones you like. But if you want to do it on your own,
give us like 3 tips that people should keep in mind when trying to get a bra that fits them.
The first thing to look for, you want to start with the foundation of your foundations, which is the band. The band gives 80 to 90% of your support. You want to make sure your band fits snug around your rib cage on the loosest set of hooks.
She says if it's firm on the tightest hooks, you'll want to go down a size because as the elastic stretches, you move the hooks tighter.
What's another tip that you have?
The underwire. Women say it's uncomfortable. If the wire is not wrapped well, or the channel that it's put in is not wrapped well, it will be uncomfortable. You can touch and feel the wire to see if the channel has been padded or the actual wire has been padded. Well, the third tip, I would try to stay away from the molded bra.
And remember, support your local bra fitter businesses. Christy Reeder, News 12.
Very emotional. I cried from the caboose on Main Street all the way here. It's very, very emotional.
Families filled the streets of Haverstraw Tuesday to welcome home a hero.
It's an amazing moment, nothing but chills all through the body, just watching her come on in. This is amazing.
Harriet Tubman's Journey to Freedom sculpture towers 9 feet and 2,400 pounds of bronze. It commemorates the activists who rescued dozens of slaves through the Underground Railroad, including right here in Rockland County.
Yeah, Harriet absolutely has come through Rockland County. We know that. We know by way of the marker in Nyack, and we know by way of the African American Church. She was a member of the AME Zion Faith, and the original church was located right where my house is.
And why Norfleet's organization, which is committed to exploring and preserving African American history in Rockland, worked tirelessly to bring Harriet to the Haverstraw African American Park right across the street from where that original AME Zion Church used to stand.
She's left her mark on an impression on all of us as just a woman, a remarkable woman in history that needs to be elevated and exalted.
And elevated she was. Her legacy celebrated Tuesday with praise, prayer, and song.
It's about time that we recognize the value and the significance of people of color.
Unlike most areas that have this statue for 4 weeks, Rockland County will have it for 7 weeks. You can check out the Journey to Freedom sculpture of Harriet Tubman here through June 7th in the village of Haverstraw. Beth Seflin for News 12.